with coverage you can count on. This is the Erie News NOWCAST.
Good evening, I'm Haley Potter. Thanks for joining us for tonight's edition of the Erie News NOWCAST. U.S. Marshals have arrested a man wanted in connection with a double homicide. U.S. Marshals tell us they arrested Danny Nicholson earlier today. Marshals and Erie police found Nicholson at a motel on East Lake Road in Lawrence Park and took him into custody. Nicholson was wanted in a connection with a double homicide earlier this month at Bogey's Tavern on Buffalo Road. Nicholson faces multiple charges, including 3 counts of attempted homicide, aggravated assault, and reckless endangerment. And a woman was found dead, or a woman has died following an accident on Interstate 79 earlier today. Crews responded to calls of a rollover accident on I-79 North between the Edinboro and McCain exits around 1:30 this afternoon. Initial reports from the scene indicated that a woman was found unresponsive. The Erie County coroner confirms that 62-year-old woman from Erie died of blunt force trauma this afternoon. The coroner did not release any additional details, but confirms that it was a fatal accident. And in the wake of the Colorado shooting, we wanted to know where the region and the nation stands when it comes to gun control. We're also hearing from a survivor from the Dayton, Ohio shooting. We begin with a report from our Isaac Petcash.
Ceasefire Pennsylvania volunteer Lydia Lath was sickened when she heard of the mass shooting Monday in Boulder, Colorado. But sadly, she says that's been a commonality her whole life.
Being born in the 90s, I basically have never lived a life without mass shootings.
All right. Thanks, sir. All right. Thank you.
Also disturbed was Bob McDowell, owner of Bob's Gun Shop in McCain. He hurts for the people inside the store who didn't deserve to lose their life.
Through my mind is the poor people that were victims of a violent crime. We have to name it for what it is. It's a crime.
The shooting has brought the debate on gun reform back to the forefront, including here in Erie. Lath highlighted several issues she says contributes to mass shootings, including failure to consider mental health history and illegal acquisition of firearms.
A lot of illegal gun purchases or some of these purchases to people that are a greater risk to their community or to themselves happen in these private sales.
She's urging leaders to take action before a similar event would happen closer to home.
We need to have these conversations before it happens here. We need to be preventing problems before they happen, not reacting to them after the fact, in the aftermath when people are hurting and when people are grieving.
McDowell agrees in some aspects. He believes anyone who wants to or does use a gun unlawfully should never be allowed to carry one again.
If you try to buy a gun and you're denied, there should be an instant investigation. Any kind of violent crime, automatically, you shouldn't have it.
But he also says it isn't fair to judge all gun owners based on the actions of one.
The laws that they're trying to pass are going to actually impede you and I, honest citizens. Why do we have to be penalized for the acts of a criminal?
Nearly a year and a half ago, 9 people were killed and 27 others injured in a mass shooting in Dayton, Ohio. With the recent shootings in Atlanta and Colorado, a survivor of the Dayton shooting is speaking out and demanding change in gun laws. On August 4th, 2019, a 24-year-old gunman opened fire in a popular nightlife district in Dayton, Ohio. A day Dion Green and so many others will never forget. 27 people were injured and 9 other people murdered, including Dion Green's father, Derek Fudge, who he says died in his arms. Unfortunately, even after this incident, more mass shootings happened in the United States. Green says it's taking a toll on not only himself, but other survivors and individuals who lost family members to mass shootings. He says enough is enough.
I'm just not understanding how these people are getting these humongous weapons with numerous rounds of ammo, and then they end up having a bad day, quote unquote, like in Atlanta. You don't think we have bad days? But I ain't about to make nobody else feel the pain that I have to go through. That's why I challenge our Congress, our legislation, our president. Like, we need a leader to lead.
And Erie County coroner Lionel Cook is revealing the findings to his statistics in the past year. Homicides were up in Erie County, 14 homicides in 2020, 12 of them by gunfire, and a majority happening in the city of Erie. As far as drug-related deaths, fentanyl was the #1 killer last year, accounting for 75% of deadly drug overdoses. Now to some positive news from the report. Deadly motor vehicle accidents in Erie County were down significantly, likely because there were fewer people on the roads because of the pandemic. And there were only 3 fatal motorcycle accidents last year. Our Emily Matson will break down this report tonight at 11. And more than 59,000 people in our region have been fully vaccinated against the coronavirus. That translates to be about 15% of our region's population. The state stands at more than 1.4 million vaccinated residents, which is about 12% of the state's population. Crawford County continues to lead the percentages with 18% of its residents vaccinated. And for all the latest COVID-19 facts and figures, check out our website, erienewsnow.com. And Friday will be a very busy day with numerous mass vaccine clinics all over our area, from the city to out further in Erie County into Crawford County. Medical leaders tell us these mass vaccine clinics are crucial. AHN's clinic at the Erie Insurance Arena is by appointment only, and this will help the county as a whole get more people vaccinated. The Second Baptist Church Clinic is part of the Roll Up Your Sleeve initiative for the minority and inner city communities. In Crawford County, they will also get more vaccines with their clinic, which is open to anyone just as long as they're in Group 1A. County officials say they wouldn't be surprised if we see more of these mass vaccine clinics popping up.
I do believe that you're going to see more consistent, larger vaccination clinics. And when I say larger, we're using the cutoff as 1,000 or more throughput being what we call a large clinic. That is a fairly heavy lift.
And of course, we've seen these clinics at large centers, but how would they look for a church? Our Elspeth Meisner has that story coming up at 11. And a trade association for highway construction says it's against a plan to toll major bridges in Pennsylvania. The Associated Pennsylvania Constructors Group says it is against a new plan to toll bridges in need of repairs. The group's executive vice president told a House committee that private financing would drive up project costs. He also said relying on tolling to cover construction costs is pretty risky. The state transportation secretary says financing the project is less risky because the bridges have stable traffic patterns. Thanks for joining us for the Erie News Nowcast. Join us for our next news at 10 p.m. on the CW and 11 p.m. on WICU and WSEE. Have a great night.